Have you ever felt like your emotions were running your life, pulling you in directions you didn't even fully understand? Have you ever wondered why some people seem calm, confident, and resilient, while others break under pressure or lash out in fear? The truth is, your emotions are not your enemy. In fact, they are the raw energy of your life, trying to guide you, trying to teach you. But most of us were never taught how to listen to them. We were told to hide our tears, to bury our anger, to stay positive no matter what. So we suppress, we pretend, we build walls, and those walls become cages. But what if there was another way? What if you could transform your emotions from something that sabotages you into something that strengthens you? Today, we will explore the power of emotional intelligence and how it can become the foundation for true personal growth. By the end of this video, you may never see your emotions the same way again. Chapter 1: The Misunderstanding of Emotions. From a young age, many of us were taught that emotions are a problem. We learned that crying makes us weak, that anger is dangerous, that fear is shameful. So we grow up disconnected from our own hearts. We use logic to plan our lives, to make our choices, to define our worth. But logic alone cannot guide a human being. We are creatures of feeling. Our hopes, our dreams, our fears, our deepest drives, these all come from emotion. When you disconnect from your emotions, you disconnect from yourself. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And much of what is unconscious in you is emotional. That buried grief you never faced. That rage you never gave a voice to. That shame you tried to erase. They live on, in the dark, shaping your decisions, controlling your reactions, stealing your peace. So the first step to emotional intelligence is honesty. To tell yourself the truth. I feel this. No judgment. No shame. Just recognition. Chapter 2: The Power of Naming. Psychologists call it affect labeling, the simple act of naming an emotion. I feel sad. I feel afraid. I feel jealous. You might think naming your feelings makes no difference. But research shows it changes everything. When you name an emotion, you bring it out of the shadows and into the light of awareness. This single act lowers the intensity of the emotion, because the brain shifts from pure reactivity to observation. It's like shining a light on a monster under the bed. You see it clearly, and it loses its power to terrify you. Naming your emotions is the beginning of mastery. It is the first step toward responding instead of just reacting. Chapter 3: Feel it to heal it. There is a popular saying in therapy, feel it to heal it. This might sound simple, but it is profound. Most people are afraid of their own feelings. They think, if I really feel my grief, it will destroy me. If I really let myself feel anger, I will lose control. So they run. They numb. They distract. But running from an emotion is like running from your own shadow. It always follows. When you have the courage to feel your emotion, fully, with honesty and compassion, something powerful happens. The emotion begins to move. Because emotion is energy in motion. When you let yourself feel, you set that energy free. And with it, you set yourself free. Chapter 4: Emotional Literacy, a Lost Art. Think of how little we are taught about emotions. We go to school to learn math, history, science. But where is the class on heartbreak? Where is the class on shame? Where is the class on self-acceptance? Most of us enter adulthood emotionally illiterate. We can name hundreds of brands, but not the basic states of our own heart. This is why people repeat the same toxic patterns in love. Why they burn out in their careers. Why they sabotage friendships. They do not understand the forces driving them from within. Emotional literacy is the foundation of emotional intelligence. It is learning to recognize, name, and allow your feelings, without letting them rule you, and without trying to destroy them. This is not weakness. This is maturity. Chapter 5, From Reaction to Response. Emotional intelligence is not about erasing your feelings. It is about transforming your relationship with them. Most people live on autopilot. A harsh word triggers their rage. A rejection triggers their shame. A challenge triggers their panic. They react instantly, unconsciously, but a person with emotional intelligence creates a pause, a sacred pause. Between the feeling and the action, there is a moment of choice. In that moment, you can choose how to respond, instead of being a slave to your old habits. This is the freedom that emotional intelligence gives you. It is not the freedom from emotion. It is the freedom to act with wisdom, even in the presence of emotion. Chapter 6, Resilience Through Acceptance. Life will never be without pain. No matter how wise, how mindful, how strong you become, you will still face loss, disappointment, heartbreak. Emotional intelligence does not protect you from these storms. But it teaches you to bend without breaking. When you stop fighting your emotions, when you stop resisting the truth of what you feel, you become more resilient. Acceptance is not defeat. Acceptance is the ground on which true growth can begin. As Carl Rogers said, the curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. When you accept your sadness, you can grieve and let go. When you accept your fear, you can act courageously despite it. When you accept your anger, you can stand for what matters to you without violence. This is resilience. Chapter 7, Integrating the Shadow. Carl Jung believed that every human being has a shadow, the parts of ourselves we reject, deny, or fear. Our jealousy, our selfishness, our rage, our neediness. We push these qualities into the dark, hoping they will go away, but the shadow does not disappear. It grows stronger, more twisted, more dangerous in hiding. Emotional intelligence requires us to turn toward the shadow. Not to indulge it, but to understand it. Because every part of you has a purpose. Your anger can protect you. Your envy can motivate you. Your sadness can connect you to what matters. When you integrate the shadow, you become whole. And wholeness is the foundation of personal growth. Chapter 8, From Wholeness to Growth. True growth is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming real. When you stop pretending to be someone you are not, when you stop rejecting the messy, imperfect, beautiful truth of who you are, you begin to grow. Emotional intelligence helps you do this. It helps you live in harmony with yourself. You are no longer at war inside. Your thoughts, your feelings, your values, your actions, they start to work together like a well-tuned orchestra. And this harmony makes you powerful, because a person at peace with themselves can face the world with courage and clarity. Chapter 9, Relationships and Connection. Emotional intelligence does not just transform you, it transforms your relationships. When you understand your own emotions, you begin to understand others. You see their fear behind their anger. You see their hurt behind their silence. You see their longing behind their pride. This is empathy, the heart of all connection. Empathy is not weakness. It is the ability to stand firm in your own truth, while also holding space for the truth of another. In a world starving for understanding, empathy is a superpower. It allows you to build trust. It allows you to resolve conflict. It allows you to love without illusions. People who develop empathy do not get manipulated more, they get manipulated less, because they see through the masks. They do not fall for surface-level stories because they can feel what is real. And that makes them wise. Chapter 10: Emotional Maturity in Everyday Life. Emotional intelligence is not a one-time achievement. It is a daily practice. Every morning, you get to choose, will I react blindly to my emotions? Or will I respond with presence? Will I judge myself for what I feel? Or will I stay curious and kind toward myself? Emotional maturity is built moment by moment in the tiny choices you make each day. When you apologize instead of defending yourself. When you speak your boundaries instead of shutting down. When you allow tears instead of swallowing them. These small acts of courage, repeated over time, change you. They transform you into a person who is both soft and strong. Chapter 11: The New Definition of Strength. We were taught that strength means never breaking, never crying, never doubting. But that is a lie. Real strength is not the absence of emotion. Real strength is the capacity to hold your emotion, to learn from it, and to keep moving forward. A tree that refuses to bend in the wind will break. But a tree that can sway, that can move, that can adapt, it survives every storm. Emotional intelligence is that flexibility. It is the strength of water, not stone. Water flows, shapes, adapts, and carves mountains over time. When you become emotionally intelligent, you become like water. Soft enough to feel. Strong enough to change. Persistent enough to transform. So today, I invite you to look inside. To ask, what am I feeling right now? Can I name it? Can I allow it? Can I listen to what it is trying to teach me? This is the beginning of emotional intelligence. And through it, the beginning of true personal growth. You do not have to be perfect. You only have to be honest. You only have to be willing to learn. Because every feeling is a messenger, every wound a teacher, and every emotion a path toward wholeness. Stay conscious. Stay courageous. And remember, transformation begins within. If this message resonated with you today, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it too. Sometimes, a single idea can change an entire life. And if you want to keep exploring how to grow, heal, and transform yourself from the inside out, subscribe to this channel, because here, we dive deep into the mind, the heart, and the human spirit. Leave a comment below, white right pointing back hand index. What emotion are you learning to accept right now? White right pointing back hand index. How has emotional intelligence changed your life? I would love to hear your story. Until next time, remember. Feel it. Name it. Integrate it, because that is how you become truly strong. If you found value in this video, please consider hitting the like button. It helps more people discover these ideas and build their own inner strength. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another exploration of psychology, personal growth, and the wisdom of the mind. And always remember, your emotions are not your enemy. They are your allies on the path of becoming fully human, fully alive, and truly whole. Thank you for being here. Until we meet again, stay conscious, stay courageous, and keep growing.